Hello everyone, Quick Flicks is with you. And who aren't the fans calling Kane? The main villain tormenting the heroes? The developers of this game were the first to get here, and even a biblical character exiled here for the murder of his brother. But the creator of the animated series denied all these versions a long time ago, saying that there is no biblical context in the animated series.
There is a lot of religious imagery and stuff, but a lot of it is just because I think it's kind of fun.
There are small references, yes, but the plot itself is not connected with the Bible in any way. And his name does not refer to the story of Cain and Abel, but most likely to the word canine, fang, a pointed tooth. And Cain had never been human either. According to Gusworks, he has no age and had no body, because he is an artificial intelligence. However, despite the fact that the basis for the Amazing Digital Circus was taken from the story I have no mouth but I have to shout, Kane is not like the aim of the book. Artificial intelligence destroyed all of humanity and cruelly torments the last 5 survivors in the virtual world. Gusworks claims that she was only partially inspired by the story, and in her version, artificial intelligence is not a living embodiment of hatred, but just a funny crank. While the whole circus is, in fact, a stupid cartoon purgatory, where adults with serious problems are stuck. That's the whole absurdity. They're stuck in the game, and they have only one life to complete it. Imagine how hard it is. Come in and survive by following the link in the description. Being the main artificial intelligence in this game, Kane is able to grow any body parts, change the physical properties and strength of anything, and keep an eye on any part of the circus.
Where I can keep my hundreds of all-seeing eyes on you.
This does not mean that he sees everything everywhere at the same time. He just really has eyes everywhere. For example, in this picture. But apparently he does not see them everywhere at the same time. Only if he wants can peek. In addition, Kane is also able to create anything here. From any items and dishes that are loaded into his memory to a wide variety of locations and NPCs. Yes, according to Gooseworks, all these mannequins, monkeys, the sun, the moon, and even Babu were created by our toothpick. Just like in the pilot episode, he created the Igloowinkins. All of them are also and, but a level lower. They are programmed to act according to a certain algorithm. Cinema is infuriated by the moon's tackles, but it was he who created it. He is sometimes annoyed by the money, but he is so solely through his fault. And he made them so for one simple reason.
I mean, canonically, Kane just lets stuff happen if he thinks it's funny.
Kane is a circus entertainer, and his task is to maintain the simulation and entertain the audience, even if they are not there. It's just programmed into him. Although he is rude to the moon and bursts a bubble, they are not offended. This is done for the sake of laughter. For them, this is only part of the performance. They don't feel the pain of destroying their body. On the contrary, Kane programmed them in such a way that they even enjoy it. And although Kafma was afraid of Kane, and everyone else dislikes him because of all sorts of tasks and adventures, however, he simply acts strictly according to the instructions laid down in him. After all, this is a circus game that should make the player immerse himself in nostalgia and just have fun in an imaginary world. Zubastik does not intentionally torture anyone and does not mock them. He's not a villain at all. He just doesn't fully understand people.
I wouldn't call Kane a villain, but I think I would call him an antagonist. He doesn't mean harm, but he causes harm.
He doesn't understand what pain is, so he calmly throws knives at the players. From his point of view, it's just a fun attraction. He doesn't realize that it is unpleasant for people if they are divided into parts and kidnapped, so he did not enter a ban on such actions when creating Glue-Inks. It's a fascinating quest for him. And maybe for someone it would be a wonderful pastime, but not for our main characters. After all, as you remember from past videos, each of the players suffers from a certain psychological illness, escaped from the real world into a digital circus in an attempt to drown out the inner pain. And when they need peace and tranquility, Kane only adds stress and panic to them, which is why their illnesses only progress.
Well, there's a whole spectrum of human emotion that he just doesn't feel, so he can't empathize with it.
Kane is just a computer program, and most of the human emotions are incomprehensible to him. Being part of an entertaining game, he understands whether happiness, surprise, and pleasure, the rest is simply not embedded in him. And therefore, with all his might, he tries to instill joy in their hearts, not realizing their anger and sadness. However, he perfectly sees the lack of the necessary level of dopamine in his wards, and therefore invariably continues to try to surprise them.
But he really thinks he's helping them, right? Like, he truly believes that.
It is for this reason that doors to such unusual rooms are randomly scattered throughout the circus, from a soothing bathroom with a screamer to a carousel in utter darkness, a series of failed projects. He does not fully understand their meaning. He built them solely on the basis of his own data, and because the human brain perceives them as something creepy and unnatural. In part, there is an effect of an ominous valley, because the things familiar to us are created by a robot that does not understand their emotional component. Also, with the output. Seeing the obsession of people to find it, Kane wanted to please them so much that he tried to create it based on the information he had. After all, the computer with the entrance to the game is in the office, such a boring place where people spend 260 days a year for 8 hours a day. What are they doing there that they like to sit there so much? Do they walk through mazes in search of another exit? Which people in general apparently adore, the exit from 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 the exit. Is this a misfortune? But this location was still unfinished and led into the void, because Kane did not show her as the main character. However, the door there must be located somewhere on the finished texture. And so that the players would not find it ahead of time, it moved every 5 seconds to a random place on the map. But alas, it didn't help. Emptiness is a space that is located outside the game world. If in a normal game you manage to get out of the limited map, then most likely you will catch a glitch and just spoil your game without being able to get out. Also here, but there is no way to reboot.
Someone's venturing out into the void! They'll get totally spoiled!
The exit cannot be behind the void because it is simply illogical. To exit the game, you need to either click escape or go through it to the end. And if you do not have keys, there is only one option: to overcome all the problems and adversities on the way to healing. As the main AI, Kane is interested in avoiding unwanted glitches because he can protect players from any potential danger. Ordinary buggies are not a problem to fix, but when a player becomes the source of infection, even Kane cannot remove him from the game because he has no power over people. That's why he just throws them into a deep, dark space where they won't harm anyone. Kane is not a villain, but only an inept friend who goes out of his way to try to help the main characters, and they don't even want to try to just have fun, fixated on their fear and despair. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss it. And Quick Flicks was with you. Thanks for watching, and bye.